My name's Jeff. I've been asked to put together a quick video on the use of ChatGPT to gain industry knowledge as well as maybe get started on mentoring with different clients. The premise being that there is no necessity to have industry knowledge when you are taking on a client because, in essence, they have rudimentary business questions in most cases that they need answers that are going to be the same across all industries. But if you do want to get quickly up to speed, I've got a couple of scenarios that we'll run through here, and hopefully it'll help you use ChatGPT. So you go to chatgpt.com, download the free version, which is what I have in front of me right here. So I got a referral from another mentor. It said that they didn't want the client was going to get into the in-home healthcare business, start their own business. The client or the mentor said, I don't know anything about that industry, so they sent it back to the queue, and I ended up getting it. So I've never worked in a home healthcare business either, but just to get some high level initial information, your queries when you type them into ChatGPT, you want to be relatively specific. I mean, you can start off generic, like tell me about the home health care industry in St. for seniors in St. Louis, Missouri. And you'll get the basic overview of the industry, some of the main players. You got some, it's really a massively growing industry, just intuitively, you might imagine, because people don't want to go into a nursing home. They don't want to go into assisting living. They want to age in place. So hugely booming market. A lot of folks that are in that market come across as clients because they want to do their own thing. They don't want to work for somebody else in that market. So next question I might have. So what I did is I read through this. I get my local market landscape. I see who some of the main players are. Advantage Healthcare, AccuCare, Home Healthcare of St. Louis, et cetera. It's all interesting information. In summary, St. Louis senior home healthcare sector is shaped by rising demand, high local costs, and meaningful local provider options, blah, 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 blah. And then, so what I might want to do for the next question is, what type, I just ask intuitive questions in the sense, what types of services, if I could type, services are offered with in-home care, health care for seniors in St. Louis. Sorry for the slow typing there. ChatGPT will then break down for me what the different things are. Okay, so a lot of very okay, so then when I look in here at skilled home health service, so skilled means I've got to have a nursing background, I've got to have credentials, I've got to be certified. Versus what's the bigger growing market right now is the non-medical home care, which is what you learn down here is it's just taking care of people's day-to-day needs in their home. Personal care with bathing, dressing, grooming, homemaking, light housekeeping, etc. Okay, oh, I see that. So then one of the first questions I would ask the client is, are you going to do non-medical home care, or are you going to hire, or are you a nurse who's going to provide the skilled services? And then they say, well, I don't know, maybe I want to do both. So my next query would be, I'm going to, if I am starting a home healthcare business for seniors in St. Louis, Missouri, where do I start? Just got to get an overview of the different options for startups because that's who we're working with, right? Okay, choose your home care model. So there's what I was really looking for. I wouldn't have known that was coming up, but there's the action. If I want to do it, be a non-medical home care provider, I don't need a state license. I just need to do well, it'll tell me what I need to do. Skilled home health care, I need to be licensed. I got to have credentials. I got to be a registered nurse, that type of thing. And if I'm going to take customers from Medicaid, consumer directed service under Medicaid, I've got to be a Missouri Health enrollment and go through specific special vetting to become to get Medicaid funding to pay for the services. So I've got folks that are going to pay me directly, and I've got folks that are going to I'm going to get paid through Medicaid. It's a big decision there. Having worked with Medicaid in the past, and you don't have to. If I worked with Medicaid, there's a whole list of requirements, and you can just use ChatGPT to pull those up as well. Then it kind of takes you through a list of things that we would commonly recommend as mentors. Form a legal business entity, right? Apply for licensure if you're doing the skilled care. Got to do background checks. So these are all the things that are specific to this industry that you as a mentor would want to encourage your client to get done. If you're doing the Medicaid, there's a bunch of information how that. So you can literally drill down on each of these sections and go as deep as you want to go to get as knowledgeable as you want to, and teach your client how to do that. Right? We're not trying to be secret about this. And so when I went through a client in this space, it became pretty clear that they had a long list of things to do. They were, as the client shared with me, she's a doer, not a strategist. So I helped her strategize how to approach each of these. We looked up the different websites for different things. She decided she wanted to do non-medical care, and she was going to think about whether to do Medicaid or do private pay. And that would subsequent meetings we'll go deeper on that. So let's say though, which often happens with a client that we have, regardless of the industry, a lot of our clients have expertise in the area that they're working in because they work in it right now. And so they don't need help with us explaining how the industry works. They need help on marketing, right? And almost every client I've had needs help on marketing. So when we get down to that question, what I would do is I would enter so again, there's a whole list of things to do at a high level, start marketing your brand. So ChatGPT usually asks, "Would you like?" I want to go a little more specific than that marketing question. I want to say, provide a comprehensive marketing plan for a non-medical in-home health care for seniors in St. Louis, Missouri. And it'll basically write out a marketing plan for you. Obviously, for each one of these marketing things, you can break it down even further, but I love how it always starts with your unique value proposition. I really emphasize with every client I have, why you? Why are you going to be unique? What's your unique value proposition compared to the other competition that we already looked at the bigger picture? How are you going to stand out in your marketing and get people to choose you? Because even if you're approved to do Medicaid, doesn't mean you're going to get referrals from Medicaid. You got to market. So how else do you market? Hospital, here's some different folks you can approach: elder law attorneys, hospital discharge planners, et cetera, to get your contact information in front of them. Talks about basic stuff like search engine optimization, and goes pretty deep on different things you can do for marketing. So that's kind of a background on ChatGPT and home healthcare. I want to do one more quick example. I had a client that is he's a contractor. Specific title, he calls himself a finish carpenter and a furniture maker, and he wants to start his own business. So in his case, I started with what is a comprehensive list of items I should consider when starting a finish carpenter furniture maker business in St. Louis, Missouri. I didn't go into the industry details yet because we'll have to get to the ultimate value proposition when we get him into the marketing mindset. But he already knows this industry. He's got this job. He knows how the job works, but he doesn't know how to start the business. He's going to have business questions. So I type in that to start. So again, what's our niche? We got to choose our specific type of work we're going to do. Are we going to do build-ins? trim work, cabinetry, staircases, all that's going to go into his marketing. He's got to have the skill set to do all that. Identify his target markets. Is he doing commercial? Is he doing residential? Decide on services. And I just take the client through this and they tick off the answers. And if they don't have them, I help them figure out a way to get the answer. I don't do the business plan. I do the business model canvas. If they need a business plan for an SBA loan, I can certainly help them with that. We all know how the business structure stuff works. They need insurance, workers' comp if they have employees, auto insurance if driving, et cetera, et cetera. So some of the technical things. And then what's he going to, what kind of tools does he need? Does he have what he needs? Does he need, to get some additional tools? What are funding options, things like that? Pricing and financial planning. How do you come up with startup costs and tools, cost plus, but it's really more on what the market will bear, et cetera, et cetera. All these things that you guys know is relevant to any business. Same with this kind of business. And then we'll probably end up spending most of our time talking about his marketing plan because he knows how to do the work, but he doesn't know how to get the customers. So in that case, I just type in the same kind of query. Provide me with a I don't know why I love the word comprehensive, but I use it in every marketing plan for a finish carpenter furniture maker startup business in St. Louis, Missouri. I always put the name of the city just because if there's anything special about that city related to the industry. And again, it just ticks off a whole list of things that the individual should do. Not most of my clients aren't familiar with branding. They don't know how to start with how to get a website, how to Google search a company name, find the URL, use Canva to create a logo, that type of thing. So we start at the high level of the marketing and then break it down into how to get a website through Squarespace or Wix or whatever they want to use. And then just take them through the whole list of stuff here in terms of how he's going to set up his marketing metrics, et cetera. And you can go deep on any one of these as deep as you want to go. So I guess in summary, ChatGPT has been a great help to me. Again, I've never taken or not taken a client based on what industry they're in because even before ChatGPT, we had Google, but now with ChatGPT, it's just so simple to find information to get you up to speed like that. And then we just use the basic business skills that we've been using with all clients because most of the stuff we're doing is basic startup 101. So when using ChatGPT, one of the holistic things that helps in any point that you're using it is to start with, how do I do this? Or what if this happens? And just start with a basic prompt. Maybe you don't even know where you're going. And it helps you, it kind of guides you along from there. Usually at the end of every response, there's, would you like to learn more about this or would you like to learn more about that? So that's another tip. All right. Thanks. Have a good day.